Hey guys, Brian Kearns here, James River Equipment. Today we're going to show y'all the new V452M. Last year we brought you a video of the V451. The 2s are now out. Just going to show you a couple of differences in them, and the main thing is what is different about this baler versus a traditional Deere autumnal baler. So on the V452M, this is a 4-foot wide, 5.5-foot high chamber. So you can make 64, 65-inch bales. Usually what we use it for is making 60-inch bales. It allows you a little bit of cushion if you oversize a little bit. This particular machine has knives. We're going to show you that. Hydraulic drop floor. Really good for making silage and wet hay as well as dry hay. The pickup over here, you'll notice, really wide pickup. It's 2.2 meters, which comes out to what's a little over 7 feet. They run stainless strippers in there. Big pickup teeth. You'll see that large in-feed rotor. The slots in it where the knives go. It runs a teed gearbox. So the gearbox, as the power comes in, instead of going through the baler and across, the T allows power to go each way, so it doesn't have to go through the baler in a shaft. So one gear, this side of the gearbox pulling out, driving here, this big drive chain is only driving the feed rotor. So the feed rotor is driven here, the pickup rotor is driven from the other side. So there's only one chain on the right-hand side of the baler. Other things you'll notice in here is centralized grease banks. These are hydraulic, the pressure valves, all that set from inside the cab. This is actually your moisture sensor, so it's built-in moisture sensor on this machine. You can see moisture in real time as you're building bales. You see the big pillar block bearings, oil lines that run back to the grease bank. This is the knife blanks, so we do have knives in this machine. If you take the knives out, these are the blanks that'll go in the place of them, just so you don't have holes in the pickup. You'll notice the gate latch here, dump cylinder here. It is a rear load net machine, so just like our traditional machines, you got a place to carry a net as well as apply one, so you got storage on top, the plies on the bottom. Easy to load. It's low, easy to get to. Mechanical ramps with kickoffs. Biggest deal there is as you dump a bale, once it comes off the ramps, they come back up so the bale cannot roll back into the baler. So you can open and close the chamber on hillsides and you don't have the need for backing up. So coming on around, left side's the main drive side of the actual baler. So again, you'll see you got your main gearbox drive here. 2 big drive chains is all you see here, and one going to the pickup rotor itself. So it's a total of 4 chains. So it's the least amount of chains on the market. You got 4 big chains, you got an auto oiling system. You see all the different points there that it feeds oil. You also got your centralized grease bank on this side as well. We're going to open the baler up. We're going to show you the hydraulic drop floor and the knives. So opening up the chamber just so we can kind of get in there. Safety lock right here, so we're going to lock it so it don't smash my big head while I'm in there. But as you step in, you'll notice that you got your front drive rolls here, then your belt starts the rest of the way. This is actually the moisture sensor. So as it's building that bale, the outside of that bale, which is the crop that's coming in all the time, is touching right here, giving you that moisture. If you look down into the pickup, you'll notice all those black knives. So it's a 15 knife bank. Those are raised up and down hydraulically. So there's the knives up. Those are the knives down. You can see how they actuate when they come into the feed rotor. And what it basically does, you'll see the knife comes through these arms are open. So the knife goes between them. That's where the feed rotor cuts the crop there. And then this is the hydraulic drop floor. So if you notice, if you get a plug, and he's running the knives, but if you get a plug, when it plugs up, you drop that floor hydraulically just like that, and it allows it to suck that material on through. So really cool feature. It's a pretty big deal when you're doing haylage and wet crop. If you get a plug, you don't want to be out here dragging it out all day. So this display is a command arm display in a Command Pro tractor. If you do not have a IVT or a Command Pro tractor, you will have a G5 or a G5E, which is a screen just like this without these bottom buttons. They're all touch screen. It comes with a G5E. you can upgrade to a G5 or even a larger screen as well. So all depends on how much space you want to see in inches. They do make bigger screens. This is just a factory screen in a tractor. Again, if you buy the baler and you're putting it in a different tractor or an older model, it doesn't matter to your tractor. We can make it run on any of them. It will come with a G5E display, and you can upgrade to a G5 if you want a bigger screen. We'll do a quick walkthrough of what the display looks like. You know, this is sending all the client information back over because we can report. We can keep count, we can keep moisture, we can keep weight. So all this data over there can be sent up to your operations center if you want to track your productivity, your tonnage per field, know whether it needs lime, fertilize, re-drill, whatever the situation is. But today we're going to concentrate on the baler piece, which is over here. So this is kind of the home screen. You see I got a green light beside the baler. That's basically telling us that the gate's closed, everything's ready, we can turn the PTO on, we can run. So adjustment wise, the other things you'll see I've got on my screen is you'll notice moisture right here. As we start making bales, this will come up a number, and then the bottom one will be the average from the last bale. So if you want to adjust that, you simply touch it and go to settings, and you set a moisture alarm. So we're doing some wet stuff, so we've got it kind of high. If you're in dry hay and you're trying to stay under 20%, maybe you want the alarm at 18% or 19%. You're going to put it up, you don't want to burn the barn down. That's all you do. That saves it. That will throw an alarm at that point. So net remaining and bale density. So the net remaining, we tell it how much net we put in it. When you put a full roll of net in, it keeps track of the bales and how many turns it's putting on a bale. Will tell you how many bales you have left before you need to change the net wrap. Now the net roll will also turn red when it gets to the last 10, 15 bales. Cover edge comes in 12,000 feet. So we've made a few bales, we've got 226 left to go. When we change that net out in the rear of this baler, we hit reload net. It does all this math for us. If you got another operator gets in, he didn't have to worry about how much net I've got left. So we've got it populated on a gauge here, so it's just a quick look. You can kind of see what's going on. These are the counters. This baler we just started for this heyday. We've only put 83 bales through it ever. 80 bales in the last field we were at, doing some testing. This will show you the bale size as it builds left and right so that you can drive to that. I've got the overall size right now set on 58 inches. Usually we're going to run an inch or so over by the time we get stopped. So we're shooting for a 60-inch bale. I usually set it about 2 inches short to give us time, the operator time, to get stopped before it applies the net. So that's showing the size here. You can auto wrap it here. These are the drop floors and knives we showed you guys. So if you just touch the drop floor, it comes up and you turn it on or off, and you use the hydraulics, same one you pick the head up and down with, and you can see that it's telling me I've got the drop floor down. Now I've closed the drop floor. The knife controls the same way. It's usually off because you've got them up and you've left them, but you turn it on. Like now it shows you that I've got 15 knives and they're down, showing you the status. I pick those up and you'll see that it comes on. They come up and then it shows me my knife pressure. So they are held by hydraulics so that if a rock or a stick or something goes through, that it can flex, but it does give you some adjustability there. You can also change your target height. So if you want to change your knife pressure, so this is depending on if you're in a rough field or not. And like I say, target height's above that. So all that's just to the push of the button and a stroke of the hydraulics. So we just put the knives back down. As you can see, they're off. So I'm going to turn the knives off. I back out of this. Those same hydraulics now raise and lowers the pickup of the baler itself. The other little icon right here is a soft core. We've got it on. We can set the diameter of that core. What we've learned with these balers is we set that core and then let the outside density get apply extra pressure. We actually get a few more tons. So I'm going to set this one at 39.5 inches. So 39.5 inches of soft core. This is my pressure. I usually run them 30 to 40%, so we're going to set this one at 35. And then our outside pressure, so this is the remaining part of the bale, we can run that up depending on how dry the hay is to 100%. What we found is 85 to 90% works best, so we're going to set it at 85%. This is the near full alarm. So 5 inches before it's full, it'll start beeping and tell us to get ready to straighten the bale up so that we have good square shouldered bale. And then the net delay on 4 seconds. What that is once it reaches the total bale size, it waits 4 seconds before it automatically applies nets. You don't have to push any buttons. You don't have to tell it to do it. When it gets to a certain size, it's automatically going to apply the net and be ready to dump. If you want to wrap it separate, say you were at the end of a field and you had a 45-inch bale, you didn't have enough material, you can touch wrap now and apply that right then. So that's just a little rundown on what you're looking at. When we're making bales, you'll see all this stuff moving, but it's just a kind of a quick snapshot of everything. You just touch it and go. You can go into the menu, or you can just hit the icons, whatever they are, and it goes straight to it. So pretty intuitive, pretty neat from Deere. Just wanted you to see what is monitoring that baler and how you actuate it. So it's a high density baler. So in wet material, we've done several tests with them. Some wet bales, you know, depending on size, we've been making 54 to 56 inch bales, doing some individual bale wraps. You know, getting those in that 2,000, 2,200 pound range. It's all going to depend on your crop and the moisture. But that's just the first look at the new V452M. Y'all get some questions, drop us a note, add a comment. We'll be glad to talk. Appreciate it.